Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will start the recognition ceremony. Good afternoon. On behalf of the 7th Infantry Division Command Team, Major General Stephen Smith and Command Sergeant Major Timothy Lawless, thank you for attending today's volunteer recognition ceremony. Today, we honor spouses, family members, and civilians from the 7th Infantry Division who have gone above and beyond within their organizations in service to their community. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem and remain standing for the invocation given by the 7th Infantry Division Chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel Craig Ludwig.
At this time, I'd invite you to pray with me. Almighty God, we pause this afternoon to recognize our volunteers and their active service. As our great provider, you provide precisely the right people to the right area service. I have seen you bring people together who work towards a common goal, yet each one has an integral part to contribute to the work each provided in service to the soldiers and families of the Bayonet Division and JBLM. Thank you for calling out and gifting volunteers to serve. Together we thank you and celebrate the unselfish acts of service. It is to your glory we pray, O God. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the 7th Infantry Division, Major General Stephen Smith.
Okay, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? All right, fired up? Okay, good. So welcome. Thank you for coming this afternoon. It's great to see a full house. No, nobody came to see me. We all came to recognize these great volunteers we're going to recognize this morning. So welcome and thank you for coming this afternoon. I was just talking to Command Sergeant Major Boyle's mom, and looks like the rain finally found us here in the PNW, and it's almost a welcome, I think, a little bit. But we did forget where the windshield wiper trigger was in the car coming over here. To get the rain off the window, but thank you for coming. Thank you for everybody that had a chance to set this up or had a part in setting this up from the G1 section. Everybody in the G1 section, raise your hand. Where are you at? They're back behind the stage probably. So the G1, round of applause for the G1 section. I always tell the G1 section has a full-time job making sure we're all paid and have orders and all that kind of stuff. But they do this for us twice a year to set this up, and I know the G3 had a big part of it as well, and the G6, you as well. The microphone works, that's always a good thing coming up here. So thank you to everybody that had a part of putting this up, and thank you to the chain of command and all the soldiers that are out here, not only that nominated or recognized these volunteers up here, but took time to come out and drive and find a parking place in front of French Theater to come here, walk through the rain to come out here. So thank you very much for coming. When we go through this right now, the thing I think about when we recognize our volunteers in our battalions and brigades that are getting recognized for re-enlistment awards here, I always revert back to the great slogan of our mighty 7th Infantry Division. And so like many of you, I've been around in many different divisions and battalions and regiments, and one of the things I love about the Army is all the different slogans that come along with whatever division or unit you're in, even our battalions and the mottos and everything, whether it's all the way or Rock of the Marne or Rendezvous with Destiny. But I can't think of a better slogan than trust in me to say every day. And the word trust and what that means. And I think, when we talk about trust in the 7th Infantry Division, we talk about a lot of things. But the two things that come to mind to me here when we talk about trust, which I think is the crown jewel of everything we do, not just in the military, but in our families, in our communities, in our schools, in our nation. Trust is the crown jewel of all we do. Once trust starts going away, everything gets kind of sideways. But trust is so important. And so I can't think of a better thing to say every day. I just love that slogan. It's my new favorite slogan of any unit I've ever been in. And so, but the two things that I want to talk about here about trust that this reminds me of, one is selfless service. And the ability of all of us in this theater here, but specifically our volunteers, and you'll hear when they come up what they do each and every day, but selfless service. How that builds trust. What we do in our actions, in our way we spend our time with our families and our communities and the FRGs, it's selfless. And we build trust through that. It's not about me. I'm not doing this for me, and they're not doing it for themselves. It's about building trust and doing it for others and how we serve our communities and our families and our soldiers families out there. So selfless service. Another thing that comes to mind that when we talk about trust is just the teamwork that it takes to do this. And nothing happens in our Army. Nothing happens in our Army without teamwork. We're just a team of teams from Department of the Army all the way down. Sometimes it doesn't seem like that, with the pesky platoon headquarters up there. But it's a team of teams, and everything we do is based on teamwork. And a lot of times we think about teamwork, it's with our higher headquarters or lower headquarters. But to me, a lot about what we do with our teams is our family teams. Because we can't do anything. None of these soldiers out here, none of us wearing this green suit and brown suit and tan suit, whatever it is, none of us can do what we do each and every day without teamwork of our families. And the amount of effort that goes into managing and caring and loving for a family and each other's families and the families that raised us and still support us here with the Brigade Command Sergeant Major. That's teamwork, and that builds trust. We trust that when we deploy, like 2nd Brigade is actually moving in the air right now, going to Korea, that our family teams back here will be taken care of and take care of each other. And so as we go through this and just kind of think about what it means to recognize these volunteers, that's what comes to mind to me. It's just the selfless service here and the teamwork that's demonstrated by everybody here. So. Welcome and thank you for coming again, and I look forward to the ceremony, and thank you again for recognizing these great volunteers. And it's nothing, you're so important to us that we make you get here at 11:30 in the rain and stand by for a rehearsal, but we appreciate you coming and doing this with us, okay, because you're very important. I can't think of a better way to close out the busy week we've had than recognizing volunteers like this and celebrating the selfless service, the passion, the teamwork, and your willingness to give your time and your skills and your emotional energy and physical energy to give back to our Army and to our families and to your communities through nonprofit efforts or family readiness groups or whatever it is. So thank you very much for that. So let's get on with the show here. And I was not present at any of the rehearsals, okay? So if this thing gets sideways, it's because of me, okay? Nobody else. So we'll work through it. And so the flow here is we're going to recognize our great volunteers. Then we're going to recognize, I believe the flow, we're going to recognize our units out there that have excelled in different categories of retention. And I think that's appropriate to do here because we are an all-volunteer Army. Everybody in here is a volunteer. So I think it's appropriate to recognize how we closed out this year, maintaining that all-volunteer force and recognizing those units, and then we'll close it out with recognizing a great young soldier here who saved the life of a fellow American here up on the stage with the Meritorious Service Medal, and then we'll have a big group photo, and then we'll let you go. Okay, so that's kind of the flow here. applause is welcome, yelling, it's all good. So recognize these volunteers because we can't do enough for them. I wish, up here we could give you a $1,000 check or something as you're coming across the stage, but instead we'll give you a piece of paper with a signature on it and some candy bars, and hopefully that'll be enough, and some applause to thank you for what you do for us and for your own families, even right now as we speak in our community. So thank you very much. Looking forward to the ceremony, and without further ado, let's go ahead and knock it out. Thanks, appreciate it.
Joining Major General Smith on stage to recognize volunteers is his spouse, Mrs. Smith, Command Sergeant Major Lawless, Mrs. Ivy Wazinski, and the 1-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team Commander and Command Sergeant Major Colonel Quinton and Mrs. Coolman and Command Sergeant Major Raymond Smith. Major General Smith and Command Sergeant Major Lawless will now present the following awardees of 1-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team with a Volunteer Award for their selfless service, hard work, and demonstrated professionalism within their organizations. Mrs. Julie Castro is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the Alpha Company 123 Infantry Battalion Family Readiness Representative. Mrs. Candy Diaz is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the Alpha Company 123 Infantry Battalion Family Readiness Representative. Mrs. Melinda Johnston is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the 520 Infantry Battalion Family Readiness Group Advisor. Mrs. Kelly Mars is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the 296 Brigade Support Battalion Family Readiness Advisor. Mrs. Lindsay Martin is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the Bravo Company 296 Brigade Support Battalion Family Readiness Advisor. She's not here. I'm tracking she's not here. Mrs. Lisette Price is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the 520 Infantry Battalion Family Readiness Group Advisor. Mrs. Pamela Richardson is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the 296 Brigade Support Battalion Family Readiness Advisor. Mrs. Mrs. Cassidy Selesky is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the Bravo Company 296 Brigade Support Battalion Family Readiness Co-Leader. Mrs. Morgan Shepard is being presented the Commander's Public Service Award for serving as the Bravo Company 123 Infantry Battalion Family Readiness Advisor. Receiving the award on her behalf is her spouse, Sergeant First Class Jacob Shepard. Mrs. Elizabeth Ullman is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for dedicating over 15 hours a week as an active member of the JBLM community while also supporting the soldiers of 137 Field Artillery Battalion. At this time, the awardees will move to center stage for a group photo. At this time, the awardees will move to center stage for a group photo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the 2-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team Commander and Command Sergeant Major Colonel Chad Warman and Command Sergeant Major Raymond Latham and their spouses. Major General Smith and Command Sergeant Major Lawless will now present the following volunteer awardees of 2-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team with a volunteer award for their selfless service, hard work, and demonstrated professionalism within their organizations. Mrs. Janet Owens is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for serving as the Alpha Troop 81 Cav Family Readiness Leader. Mrs. Amber Sabin is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for serving as the Charlie Troop 81 Cav Family Readiness Leader. At this time, the awardees will move to center stage for a group photo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the 16th Combat Aviation Brigade Executive Officer, Major Christopher Beckwith, and Command Sergeant Major Christopher Boyle, and Chief Warrant Officer 5, Barry Sled. Major General Smith and Command Sergeant Major Lawless will now present the following volunteer awardees of the 16th Combat Aviation Brigade team with a volunteer award for their selfless service, hard work, and demonstrated professionalism within their organizations. Corporal Michael Diaz is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for participating in the Freedom Project, dedicating over 96 hours of service. Sergeant Ashley Goss is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for dedicating over 26 volunteer hours with God's Wonder Lab. Mrs. Lourdes Giuliano is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for dedicating over 80 volunteer hours as the treasurer and funds coordinator for the Echo 4 Support Company. Mrs. Carrie Ann Holt is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for volunteering and dedicating over 80 hours to the JBLM community and the Through Service worship team. Staff Sergeant DeAndre Jenkins is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for establishing the 46th Aviation Support Battalion Volunteer Group and dedicating countless hours of his time to support several nonprofit organizations. Mrs. Leslie Wood is being presented the Bayonet Scroll of Appreciation for serving as the Senior Family Readiness Group Advisor for Charlie Company 2158 Assault Helicopter Battalion. At this time, the awardees will move to center stage for a group photo.
We'll go down the line, tell the audience where you're from, why you joined the Army, and why you continue to serve.
So my name is Corporal Diaz. I'm from the great state of New Jersey. I joined because I am missing my father probably 4 years in the military. So it was one of those things where I kind of felt like a little bit of family duty, but also because I wanted to go out and support and serve my community. And so my grandfather did it, great grandfather did it, my uncle did it, and I'm just happy to be able to continue that tradition.
Awesome.
At this time, we will recognize those units in the 7th Infantry Division who excelled at their assigned fiscal year 2022 retention objectives. With the current challenges facing Army recruiting, your efforts to retain soldiers remains paramount to maintaining the readiness of the all-volunteer force. The first award to be presented is for the top producing brigade. This award is presented to the brigade that met and exceeded all of their fiscal year 2022 and 2023 retention objectives. The winner of Excellence in Retention and Top Brigade for fiscal year 2022 is 1-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team.
No speech. That's right, yeah.
The next award to be presented is the Early Bird Award. This award is for the 1st Battalion in the division that completed all of their assigned retention objectives. The 1st Battalion to finish for fiscal year 2022 was 123 Infantry Battalion, 1-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team. The next awards are based on the highest percentage of reenlistments for fiscal year 2022 at the battalion level. The battalions competed against like-sized battalions in 3 categories: large, medium, and small battalions. To be eligible for the award, the battalion had to achieve 100% mission accomplishment in all categories. The winner of the 7ID Commanding General's Excellence in Retention for Top Large Battalion is 123 Infantry Battalion, 1-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team. The winner of the 7ID Commanding General's Excellence in Retention for Top Medium Battalion is 14th Brigade Engineer Battalion, 2-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team. The winner of the 7ID Commanding General's Excellence in Retention for Top Small Battalion is 217 Field Artillery Battalion, 2-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team. Major General Smith and Command Sergeant Major Lawless will now present the Meritorious Service Medal to Specialist Brandon Ngauda for valorous actions while deployed. Okay. For valorous actions while deployed in support of Garuda Shield 1622, Specialist Ngauda heroically saved the life of a soldier refueling a UH-60. He instinctively acted to save a fueler that approached the spinning tail rotor blades too closely, tackling him to the ground and saving the fueler from imminent danger. His actions are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflects great credit upon himself, the 7th Infantry Division, and the United States Army.
The Army, why you continue to serve, why you staying for 32 years in our Army. Cool? We have all kinds of career counselors out here. We can give you all the best options.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give another round of applause for all of our awardees. At this time, will Colonel Wazinski, Colonel Burgess, and all awardees and brigade command team please join the commanding general and command sergeant major on stage for a combined group photo.
All right, so all the awardees and your spouses, if they're here, please come forward in the chain of command. Come forward. We're going to do one big grand finale photo here for the record books, okay? Come on up, Amy. We did not rehearse this part. This is the late ad. Bring your awards. Yeah, bring your accoutrements.
Oh God, no more changes. Thank you. Mistakes, thank you. I know. If I would have messed up on stage, I know I would have gotten all flustered. Oh, that's a lot, wow. I know. I'm gonna be able to get the whole stage.
I'm like, does this support that kind of weight?
Right? Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in one final applause for Oliver.
A little bit and let them leave early.
Yeah, he said yesterday he's probably gonna release early.
Oh, okay.
No, they were like 1,500 early, 1,400. Yeah, exactly.
students, and please rise. I was gonna wait till the CD got to his seat. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise for the playing of the 7th Infantry
Hold on.
Division.
I'm going to, before we sing the Bayonet March, which is one of my favorite things to do every day, I'm going to give some closing remarks. I told the G1 I never do this, but I'm going to do it again, like we always violate the rehearsal here. But I do want to again say thank you to all our volunteers and everybody that's in here. And from the foxhole that I look out of every day, it's amazing what everybody in this room does, to include our family members and everybody that is under your chain of command, or your peers, your subordinates, and everybody you represent out here as a green suiter and a family member. Because this is just one small piece of the 7th ID and your brigade combat teams and the Aviation Brigade. But it's amazing to see what goes on each and every day, and I get to see it from a relatively high level. But I do just want to acknowledge everything that the mighty Ghost Brigade is doing on a daily basis. They are just modernizing. It'll be the most modern brigade in the United States Army. At the same time, we're training. At the same time, we're doing a great E3B that completed last week. So they're getting after training. At the same time, they're modernizing. At the same time, we're sending folks out to Thailand here to get after Operation Pathways and be a integrated deterrence against any threats in the Pacific, and taking care of families and all that stuff. And you saw the great re-enlistment that's going on in that brigade. So thank you for everything at Ghost Brigade, and thank you for your family members that are taking care of each other so we can continue to serve in this great Army. So appreciate all that. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens through leadership and caring and compassion, and families that are sacrificing but making everything work for us. And for 2nd Brigade, they're literally, I don't know how many soldiers are in Korea right now, over 500. I don't know if the planes have touched down yet, probably approaching 1,000 here shortly. 1,500, okay, so already in Korea. So incredible what the brigade, and we love them so much, we just told them to deploy themselves. Y'all go push yourselves out and go to the port and figure it out, and we'll take all the credit for it when you get over there, as long as it's going well, and it is. But what we have here is a brigade, the 1st Striker Brigade, that's going to the Korean Peninsula to serve over there for less than a year to face down that threat up north in North Korea. And so that's an amazing accomplishment to get to that point. We talked about that last week a little bit with Chad's brigade and Command Sergeant Major Latham's brigade. So proud of 2nd Brigade and all the leadership that's going on at all echelons in 2nd Brigade. So very proud of them, and it's incredible to be a part of it and serve with them. And the Aviation Brigade, I didn't see a lot of helicopters flying today, or scared of the rain or something, but I don't think there's a more in-demand brigade than the Combat Aviation Brigade. It is. Every time you go somewhere, somebody wants helicopters somewhere, whether it's in the Pacific or here at JBLM or across the nation, and building combat power in 4.6 ACS to get them back up to speed. And so doing all the maintenance and everything that goes along with the training, everything in the Aviation Brigade, it's incredible. To include supporting pathways and everything a BCT does, the Aviation Brigade does with them. So thank you for that, and thank you for the families again supporting them. It's absolutely amazing. And for the division staff, whether it's coming from Indonesia and prepared to go to Japan here in a little bit to do some operations over there. So I just say that because I see that from my level, and I hear about it from my chain of command, what a great job everybody associated with the 7th Infantry Division is doing. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud of our families, what y'all do each and every day. And it's just a pleasure being in the Army. Never, ever, for all of us in here, because we all are selfless, and very few of us ever pat ourselves on the back about what's going on. Never forget how important each and every one of you are and your families are to our nation. It kind of gets maybe rolls off the tongue, thank you for your service, and we hear that a lot, but it means something. I mean, this nation and the greatest way of governing people and the Constitution of the United States of America, that doesn't happen without all of you and our families. And so thank you for that, and never, ever underestimate how important all of you are to keeping that alive yet for one more generation. So thank you very much for doing that and staying in our Army. And since we do have so many career counselors in here, if you didn't know, everybody that's in uniform, the price of entry here is re-enlisting on your way out, okay? So we have certificates back there, we have a flag, I got a right hand, you got a right hand, and we'll re-enlist for indefinite as you go on the way out. Who? 30-year indefinite re-enlistment, okay? But no, thanks for coming again, appreciate it. Thank you for the clapping and recognizing our great volunteers here. And have a great weekend, enjoy the rain, wash the pond and the dust away and the smoke away. But thanks for coming, have a great weekend. And now we can sound and knock the roof off with the Bayonet March and the Army song, okay? Hua, thanks again. Hua.
At this time, please rise for the playing of the 7th Infantry Division Bayonet March and Army song. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's 7th Infantry Division Volunteer Recognition Ceremony. On behalf of Major General Stephen Smith and Command Sergeant Major Timothy Lawless, thank you for taking the time to show your support for our awardees within the 7th Infantry Division and Joint Base Lewis McChord. Trust in me, bayonets.